Hello everybody, welcome back to ENAR. In the booth today, it's me, Petr Theriault, and with me, Christian Delgado. Christian, we have B fixed here at Atlanta. Should be a great race.
Could be.
A lot of great drivers in this field. Top split. Right now we are watching qualifying as many drivers go out to go set their laps and work around the newly reworked Atlanta Motor Speedway. A beautiful looking track that has produced much different racing than what we're used to in Atlanta. Right now we are watching Christian Wilcox do his lap around.
Looks like we got some talented drivers in here. Looks like we got Justin Bowe, Matthew Horton's in here, Tyler O'Neill, Davey Davis. A lot of talented drivers in here, so should be some good racing.
Yes, I agree. Should be we have a great field here that will definitely produce great racing. No doubt about it. These super speedway races, if you can call it that, always are interesting to watch, and definitely are interesting to watch from the booth. You can see Gordon running that apron on his second lap there to set 7/10 quicker than second place Tyler O'Neill. But that shrinks down immediately to very close times. And it looks like a lot of guys have made their qualifying lap, but a lot more have not even gotten out on track yet. So maybe they're waiting, or maybe they want to start in the back, that extra challenge, and to make sure they stay out of the wrecks early. Right now, Andre Castro just set quick time on the speedway with 2 minutes left in qualifying, a 32.15, but he gets beaten by J-Bo, who does set a 32.15. Castro set a 32.168. J-Bo, very popular in the iRacing Twitch community, has a great following, and is bringing the heat today in Atlanta.
I think we got a minute and a half to qualifying. We'll see if anybody else decides to try their luck in qualifying.
We have one car on pit lane here. That is the 12 of Matt D. Horton. Not rolling off pit lane yet. Paint scheme is not loading in either. He is the only car out on track at the moment. See if he goes out for a lap. But I doubt it at this point. Really,
to me, all the drivers are gonna kind of try their luck going from the back to the front. I don't see any other qualifiers coming out.
It looks that way, and that could be a strategy call. Stay out of the wrecks early. A lot of these drivers have done races already this week, and maybe they know something that we don't. I know, Christian, you were saying how chaotic it was and how you didn't want to lose your B license, and maybe that's what these drivers are worried about, losing some rating, and they don't want that. Qualifying looks like it's going to be wrapping up here.
It looks like we only have 8 qualifiers, so
This will be interesting. There's going to be a lot of fast guys, I presume, that didn't qualify. So to see them run through the field, Tuckness is in this, so he's obviously going to be quick as he always is. Horton didn't qualify, I don't believe.
he did not.
So we do have a lot of quick guys starting towards the back of this one. As we start to grid up here. This is ENAR broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. The newly reworked Atlanta. We have a great race ahead of us. J-Bo puts that number 3 on pole, but that is not his number in the actual. That is his iRacing number, 3rd in this split.
Like he's driving a number 20 car, almost looking like the Christopher Bell Yahoo car.
I see that. That does look very good. And he's got number 1 in the split right outside of him. 2 high drivers in the split qualified high. They're gonna have to hope that they can make up safety rating if that's their goal here. And hopefully capture that win that they would all want to see here for Xfinity at Atlanta.
For strategy, I feel like you want to be at the front or you want to be at the very back.
I think mid-pack's going to be chaotic for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for these drivers to navigate when they around this track if they are stuck in traffic. So it'll be interesting to see if being in the back, though, could cost people to lose the draft, which would not be good. See drivers way back here. So this could be interesting for sure to see how these drivers in the back that didn't qualify can hang on to this pack and hopefully make their way up without getting in any scuffles.
It's going to be very interesting in the mid-pack because, as you saw in the real Xfinity race, handling is a very big issue in at Atlanta. It doesn't drive like a typical super speedway. With all that dirty air, people are going to have to lift, and there could be a possibility of huge checkups and a lot of big wrecks.
Yeah, that's very true. And we saw even it nearly looked like the Xfinity cars had to. I mean, the Xfinity cars had to drive this track so much differently than the Cup cars did, and I think it almost looked like they were off the throttle more. So that'll be interesting to see how iRacing compares to real life and how these drivers are on and off the throttle. And we can get some onboard shots while we're racing to really see that. The pace car rolls them off the pit lane as they roll down the back straightaway. Tires getting warmed. Engines also getting warmed. We have a great race ahead of us today. Get ready to see how strategy plays in. A big part of super speedway racing is strategy, not necessarily pit strategy, but strategy of where you place your car in this pack. See drivers to go from the back to the front early, and see drivers maybe drop down early to go to the back from the front. Pace car will pull in. J-Bo will lead us to the green.
Green, green, green.
The green flag is out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 20 gets a good jump with help from the 8. But the 1, no help on that outside. They race into 1.
Side by side all throughout the field.
Double file very deep. No one's getting away. The 1 finally has help on that outside. Castro, help from the 29. I believe that's Adams right behind J-Bo. Gave him a huge push on that start. And at the stripe, J-Bo will lead lap 1. Don't see many drivers using that apron. You can't use it in real life, but people will use it here in iRacing. No one used it yet on too early. I think we will see it come into play later on. Side by side for the lead, door to door. Barely anything separates the top 2 as they come to the stripe. 29 looked to the outside there, but he tucks right back in. That might be a lamb.
Castro leads that lap.
Castro, that's big. That outside line seems to have help. And a lamb gets sideways. Oh, man. Everybody keeps it straight. I believe that was, that's Adams. That was Adams.
That was a body check by Manuel Lang.
Matthew Horton was in the top 10 and decides to drive back and let them sort their stuff out.
He saw how dicey it was getting up there, and he decided that was not for him. Back up front. J-Bo and Castro going at it. Castro has a new pusher now. I don't know what happened to Elan, but he just got really loose. The car unloaded coming out of the corner when it came off the banking. Right into the side of that.
Him a huge push.
Big push. Wow.
And Castro will lead this lap as well.
That outside seems to have some strength, just like it did in real life, if I'm correct.
Just looks like the outside is just more put together.
Yeah, that bottom lane doesn't seem to be able to get bumper to bumper. You still see that 29 in the back. Seems like he's actually still struggling to keep it on the bottom as he goes for a 3-wide move. But if you look at the 29, when he comes out of the corners, that car just shoots up the track. Might be a handling issue. Definitely something that they would like to get worked out. Oh, he hits the wall there coming off the corner. That 29 dropping back. Such a good qualifying from him. And he will lose some ground there. And down to the inside goes Castro. Clears J-Bo. And J-Bo trying to get a push from Gordon. Oh, a block from Castro. Going down the back. Did you think we would be seeing racing like this 6 laps in?
And it looks like that 19 is going to lead that outside line.
Oh. I thought the 11 might go for a look, but he decides not to. Gordon qualified very well. Looks like maybe got shuffled back on the start there, but he's working his way back up. And like you said, leading that outside line. He's definitely got the help, as we see that 11 is all over the back of him. Just needs to work hard on that outside and get them side drafts in so that he can get past. We saw how strong that outside is, but oh, the 19 gets sideways. What a save!
He saves it.
Oh my goodness, what a save by Gordon. Cody D. Gordon with a phenomenal save. Let's go back.
Great job by the back of the field to avoid them.
Let's go back
been a
and
huge
look
crash.
at this, as this is absolutely crazy. He gets contact from the 11, and it just sends him sideways, nearly into J-Bo. Luckily, the 19 snaps it back.
He gets sideways again.
Oh, really?
That might have been a handling issue from that 19 car.
Yeah, that is not good. That's something. He had such a good. He was running really good. That sucks. Only 9 laps in. Some drivers already struggling here with handling.
And J-Bo goes to the outside and takes the lead from Castro.
J-Bo back to the front. It's not something you hear often at a super speedway, handling issues, but we're hearing it today at Atlanta, and that shows how different this is than a normal super speedway, I believe. Big push from that 1. Those front 2 have been pushing so good, locking up really good together. J-Bo and Castro seem to work so good with anybody who they're behind, and it's working in their favor tremendously.
But Castro looking to the outside. He's going to get that push from the 11. He's going to get the lead.
That 11 nearly pushed him on the corner there. We've seen how pushes can help, and that was that 11 that did hit the 19 and got him sideways, got Gordon sideways. So I don't know if I'm Castro. I don't know that I would be worried about having that 11 behind me. I think he can push strong, but I would definitely be extra aware and be ready. The 21 has now entered the picture. I believe he started in the... He may have actually started last. The 21, Lenny Brady, started last and is up to 4th. Second on that outside line.
21 spots.
He is absolutely flying through the field, and that's what we were talking about. Some drivers moving up from back to the front, and some drivers dropping from the front to the back. Not seen many do the latter, but right now, Lenny Brady has absolutely got one of the best cars in the field. Or maybe he is just pushing his car a little harder. It'll be interesting to see how that affects him now that he's running up front. Frisch is into the pits, and a caution is out. Caution is out. We'll see if we can catch why this is. Oh, the 19 again. Gordon. Let's go back and look at what happened to Gordon. It looks like that does not look good for Gordon. We will see. He comes around here, and it looks like he just kind of spins it out on the front stretch.
This looks like an intentional wreck.
I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I agree. I think that's what that looks like to me.
He just stops it on,
and then starts whipping it around,
and then just starts doing.
Wow, and the 8 was coming along. Yeah, that was definitely uncalled for. Hopefully Gordon is It sucks that definitely... I mean, we had such a good battle up front, and it sucks that happened. I think Gordon was trying to get a yellow for all his troubles that he's had. Obviously, not a good handling race car, and he, unfortunately, just caused a yellow.
That 8 car is so lucky that he had the awareness to get around this spinning 19 car.
Adams, that was hard to predict where he was going, and Adams got by him great. You made a good point there. He definitely got lucky. That could have been bigger than it actually was. And the leaders were coming along not too farther after that. It would have been insane if Gordon was still doing those burnouts on the start-finish line when the leaders came along.
Pit stops are underway.
So Castro stayed out.
Looks like the 11 car is going to be
Jabo off.
Pit road.
Wow, that is huge. And Castro stays out. Oh no, the 11 may have sped.
Oh no.
And you see Justin Bowe passing him on the outside. The 11 losing all those positions.
Costly mistake.
Dylan Basin. Speeds or some sort of mistake on pit lane will cost him such a good run so far. He's got 30 or so laps to make it back to the front. We saw that 21 do it in what, 15? So I think it's possible. It's just going to make his job a lot harder today.
The 19 car looks like he's the leader.
No, he
I don't know if he's getting a wave around or...
Yeah, he should be getting a wave around, or he'll pit this time. If he pits, because pit lane should be open for lap cars now. The 1 is the leader, Castro. Jabo second. The 19 should get a wave around, and he does. We are 1 to green this time. Drivers will line up double file, and we'll get another shot at it here.
Looks like your top 5 is going to be Castro, Jabo, Wilcox, Thur, if I'm saying that right, and Porter. Now round out your top 5.
Some new faces up here in this top 5, especially with the... I don't know what happened to the 21, but the 11 also making that big mistake on pit lane.
Yeah, that number 15 car is up 13 spots from where he qualified. Newcomer in the front of the pack.
That's good to see. I mean, it's obviously showing how cars can really make moves here. This 21 is catching up to the pack. Something must have happened on his pit stop because he lost a ton of positions. Obviously, we've seen he's been able to gain those positions, but he's gonna have to do it again. Back there with that 11. Definitely new faces. Is that Will Klein in 7th?
And I'm very interested to see how hard that 11's willing to push.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Go ahead.
He's been willing to push the cars in front of him very hard, and hopefully he knows that there's still a long race left and that he doesn't need to push as hard, I would say.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's going to be interesting to see now that he's going to have so many more cars in front of him. Pace car pulls off, and we get ready to go green. Castro will lead us down this time. Did not get to do that on the original race restart. We go green. Jabo gets a huge start. Is that fresh tires, maybe? Oh, and they're contact in the back. It looked like everybody saves it. We'll stay on the front. Jabo out to a huge lead. 3 car lengths over the 1. 4, 5 car lengths now.
It looks like no penalty for Jabo, so new tires.
Yeah, I think that was
better on the restarts.
That restart zone. He went when Castro did, and it looked like Castro spun the tires a little bit. Obviously, Castro's back there now, but he loses the lead immediately. Could that be something Castro's looking for later? I don't know how many tire sets these drivers have, but could he maybe be saving one for later if he needs it?
3 wide in the back, but we'll stay up front. And it looks like we have 2 packs now from that weird restart, so we'll see if these backmarker cars can get together and maybe catch the lead pack.
For sure, and one of these packs includes that 21. And that 11 is making up ground right now. Absolutely flying. He's in the main pack. He's already up many positions. 3 wide back there.
It looks like we have a car in the pits. Looks like the 91 car.
Hopefully not be a factor. Hopefully he doesn't interfere when he comes back out. Oh, a block looks like they're in the back. right now. Jabo continues to lead with Castro pushing. Castro not really able to make a move as he's boxed in from that 32, which I believe is O'Neal. I think that's Tyler O'Neal. It is.
It is.
O'Neal blocking him in, and we're seeing new faces on that outside line. But 4 cars back on that outside is that 11. He has already made up so many positions. He is absolutely flying. Maybe one of the best cars in the field.
Jabo gets a big push. He's going to have to start blocking if he keeps getting those big pushes.
Castro does not seem afraid to push. These guys in top split, it seems that they are a little more confident to push. Not seeing as many mistakes with pushing. Obviously, we saw Gordon get put in the wall, or nearly put in the wall by the 11, but this pushing up front between Jabo and Castro has been really clean and really solid between these two.
And then towards the back of that pack, you still see that 29 taking it 3 wide.
Very aggressive. And Castro to the outside of Jabo. The 29's up there with the 11.
That 11 car went to the outside with that 29.
That'll be interesting to see how they play that out. Both very aggressive drivers, as we've seen. And Castro clears Jabo going down the front straightaway through the tri-oval with help from O'Neal. Great push by Tyler O'Neal. The 11's making up so much ground on that high side. They're tandeming up there. That outside seems to work so well right now. Gonna be halfway very soon. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. See O'Neal really trying to get that side draft off on Jabo. Jabo got a little loose there through the tri-oval, but still continues to push Castro. Obviously gonna have less air on the nose coming through the tri-oval, can make that car step out. And look, that 11 split up those 2 lanes. Nearly contact. O'Neal almost got turned by the 11. That was very close. It's fun to watch this 11 as he shoots through the pack.
And Jabo goes to the outside of Castro.
And here comes Tuckness to help Jabo. And look, Carr's using that apron now. 3 wide for the lead. Oh my goodness. Castro gets swallowed up by the pack. The 21 is back. Look at the 21 making moves on that middle lane. Tuckness really trying to push here.
3 wide for 4th.
This is amazing racing. That 21's back. Flying through the field. He goes to the bottom. All the way down to that inside. We see drivers using that apron now as we just take halfway. That's Tate, I believe, in that 5 car. Tate pushing Jabo. I'm sure he would like to make moves. He seems to be very aggressive. Jabo's going to have to watch for cars making moves through the tri-oval here because we see Tate is one of the few drivers actually ducking down, and you can gain time there, but it is not a penalty. So we'll see if he does it again. Nope, he pushes Jabo. Doesn't get off. Stays tight with him.
Looks like those cars on the inside are just starting to get tight. I'm really curious if one of these times one of these cars are going to slip up.
Yeah, we saw that in the Cup race that happened, and I definitely agree. And you can see Castro seems to be one of the only ones on the outside who's slipping up a little bit, and that could maybe be old tires. Remember, he's got the oldest tires up front, so could that be a product of old tires? The fact that now this car is going to start to slip up, get tighter, and you're going to lose ground. Luckily, Castro doesn't have anybody outside of him.
That is a very good point. Castro has not pitted for tires yet.
Or fuel. I don't know if they need fuel or not. I haven't raced at all any of the races this week, but I don't know if they need fuel or not for 45 laps around here. Tuckness trying on that outside with Tate. He will shove. But now it's the 8 car of Plemons who enters the picture for the first time today. And look who's back. That 21 and the 11 both have shot their way up through the pack. And they have done a great job working their way up. Oh, a block from Tate to the outside on O'Neal.
Jabo's doing a really good job at controlling these lines. As I say that,
oh man, the 8
3 wide.
And to the lead, Plemons, as he uses that apron against Jabo. Something I talked about. Oh, car into the wall. It's O'Neal. He hits Tate. Everybody holds on to it. No, they don't. Big wreck in the back. Oh, Castro's involved. And it's a huge crash. Over half the field is 100% involved in this. Castro, such a good run, such a good car, is involved, and it looks like that car might be crab walking a little bit.
Let's take a look back to see what happened here.
That was crazy. We'll go look back. Looks like it starts with... I would say it starts with O'Neal. Let's see if we get a slow-mo shot of this. O'Neal gets the wall off the corner, and so does Tate.
It looks like Tate hits the wall and just slows down that whole line.
And then O'Neal looks like he netcodes into Tuckness. Tuckness turns back up when that happens, and that just hooks into the whole field. Huge crashes. The 11 involved, the 1 involved, 32 of O'Neal involved, the 10 involved, just an innocent bystander. We see a couple of these drivers plow in a little late here. The 24 gets hit by the 16. Big hits in this wreck, too. Especially for that 29 and for Castro. Castro had such a good car and just got caught up in that one completely out of his own fault. I mean, like, not out of his own fault.
Such a shame. A lot of good cars tore up in that wreck.
Very good cars.
That's just a racing product of 3 wide at Atlanta. There's just not a whole lot of room.
Definitely
no
not.
room for error. And that 5 car with older tires probably just made it so difficult to keep it up there.
Yeah.
And him getting in the wall just stacked that whole 3rd lane up. And it was just chaos after that.
I apologize. The ticker has not been at the top of the screen this whole time, but that's alright. I apologize for that. I'm just trying to close some stuff to make sure I get good performance here. This has been a really interesting race. See, Jabo pits, and
Jabo pits.
A lot of these guys stay out. That's interesting. That'll be really interesting to see how this plays out for these drivers. Especially because some of these I wonder who's got damage and stuff. I mean, we're gonna restart with like 14 to go. I wonder if anybody chances it. No fast repairs. So what do the drivers do here if they do have damage? They just take it and then hope that they get lucky in the end. I would assume.
I think the best thing that some people can do is get as much damage as they can fixed and then just come out and hope for the best, hope for another wreck.
Yeah, and it being a super speedway obviously means it's gonna actually be it's gonna be tough with that aero damage. See, it's a smaller super speedway, a little less dependent on aero than Daytona and Talladega, but you can't stress how much it is still dependent on aero. This will put Aaron Plemons in the lead of this one.
And look who's up in 3rd place. He dropped back at the start of the race, and Matthew Horton is up there now. Played it smart, got through the wreck, and now he's up here in contention to win this race.
And look at our field. It has shrunken down severely after that wreck. A lot of drivers taken out, it looks like, in that one. I want to see, is Castro out? Castro is not. Still in. No nose on that car. Hoping to hopefully make up some ground here at the end to get some of these positions back that he desperately needs. It's going to be William Klein, Aaron Plemons, your front row. 2 drivers who, we saw Plemons take the lead right at the end of that run before the yellow came out. So we know he can. He's unproven at the front.
I'm very interested to see how these new tires for Jabo and that number 21 car are. Everybody in front of them are on older tires.
That's a good point. Last time with Castro, we saw he got swallowed up a little bit. It's actually, I speak of Castro, he goes to the outside there, 3 wide in the back. But Castro got swallowed up a little bit later in that run. interesting to see how these front few will do. As Jabo already up in a 4th with that 21 on his inside now. Oh my goodness, the 8 got sideways down the front stretch. The 21 is on the apron. Comes back.
Come back out.
No harm, no foul.
That whole inside though.
Spinner on the apron. Oh, they're wrecking in the back.
They're wrecking behind, wrecking in the back. And it looks like that polar number 29 car is involved again. Such a good car.
Really unfortunate. Which okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's been running so good. I mean, he ran so good at the beginning of this race, and then just, man, Trevor Lame gets involved again. We'll go back and look, but it started with a car spinning on the bottom, I believe.
I think it had to do with just Brady just coming up off that apron and stacked up that whole inside line.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Trying to check up for him.
I wonder why Brady was down there. It almost looks like he's coming into the pits. If you look, I mean, he's, to me, that kind of looks like he's coming into the pits.
He stays out under this caution flag, so I'm interested to see why he would think the apron was the best move.
Yeah. So I believe that was... Wow, yeah. That was Lang, Manuel L. Lang, that was actually on the apron. I don't know, it looks like he clips the apron entering and then just kind of gets down on it. I don't know if he was maybe being pushed. It's hard to tell, but obviously spooked the other guys as they were trying to make sure he did not come up into them. Very unfortunate. So Will Klein will take the lead though now of this race. Just got it over Clemens before that caution came out. We're going to be restarting with probably around 10 to go. And we'll see. Will this be a 10-lap shooter, or is it going to be split up here? I mean, we could have another wreck, and it's really gotten crazy at the end of this one. We'll see if we go 1 to green when we come to the stripe this time. Drivers seem to think so as they start to double up. Lights are off on the pace car. Double them up. And get them ready to go again. Jabo will be starting 3rd on this restart. That 21 is way farther back this time. Lost looks like a lot of ground there from that one mistake he had going down the back straightaway, trying to get beneath the 8 car on the apron. Obviously didn't work in it. Jabo goes down on the apron there. Looks like whatever he was going on, he got it sorted out. He's back in his position. I was worried there for a second.
And take a look at that number 8 car of Joshua Adams. He was actually involved in an incident and dropped back to last, and now he's worked his way back up to 4th. So keep an eye on him.
It's absolutely insane how some of these guys have been able to make up a lot of positions. We see how they're able to do that, and it's really interesting to me that we don't. I mean, sometimes we see this at Daytona and Talladega, but it's not always like this. And we've seen multiple drivers do it, which makes it really interesting to me. I think we've got to really look at that 21 here. He's able to cut through the pack really well. He's not going to be afraid to make a move. Starting 4th car on the inside. See what he can do back there. Pace car makes the hard left end of the pit lane. Will Klein will lead us to the green. Help from Jabo. Good jump by both those guys.
Jabo with a great push.
Absolutely amazing. They both clear him. Oh, nearly contact behind them. The 2 8 cars.
4 wide in the back.
4 wide at Atlanta. 10 laps to go. Klein leads out of 2. Will Jabo do anything? No help so far, but that 8, I'm sure, will go for something here. Clemens Ducks, fakes out, decides not better of it. His fake did not work. Maybe Plemons wants Jabo to do something. That's maybe what he's signaling as he gets to the inside of Jabo. I don't know if that was Jabo's plan to go to that high side, but it kind of looked like Plemons just caught him off guard there. A slow car.
You're going to be catching this 25 car. Really looks like he's going to go to the outside.
A lot of drivers slipped up as soon as he went to that outside. That was scary. That could have been bad. Luckily, he did it early enough where everybody was able to see. Now I think we're really going to start seeing drivers use that apron a lot more to gain positions, which, like I said, is not a penalty on iRacing, so we can maybe see that.
You're going to see these pushers get so much more aggressive now with them to go.
Oh, no!
Oh, and the 8 car.
Got absolutely dumped. I saw that happening live. The 7, no caution.
What a shame. He'd worked all the way back up to that 4th spot.
That's really unfortunate. That was, I believe that was Matt D. Horton who hooked him, who hit the 8 car. Because I think Horton's in the 7, Justin Allgaier car. It's kind of confusing with the custom numbers, but that's what it looks like. As we have a battle up for the lead right now between Jabo and Will Klein. That was unfortunate. I saw that coming. The 7 slipped up coming off the corner and just really didn't get all that. Tuckness gets turned in front of the field. Oh, a huge crash. Oh, man, that was a huge one.
Looks like only 7 cars got away clean.
And
that front pack.
Castro once again is involved in another one. Jonathan Tuckness. Wow, some cars got airborne here. Watch this one back. In slow-mo. It looks like Tuckness comes up and Tate comes down. There's a little bit of netcode, but they still would have made contact. Tuckness gets spun, locks it down. As a result, everybody in this back half of the field hits him. A lot of cars involved. Big hit for Castro and that 15. One car gets absolutely launched into the wall, and it's the 29. Really unfortunate. That car was in the air. Scary accident. He actually goes upside down. The 29's race keeps getting worse and worse as he has an absolutely massive barrel roll. Looks like he ends up back on all 4s. That's Trevor Lamb once again. Unfortunately involved in one. And now, we might have an overtime restart. Lamb is still running. That's unbelievable. He's absolutely shown that he is not giving up. It's really interesting to see now that how some of these drivers that are benefiting from these yellows, well, Matt D. Horton, he's working his way up there. But Eli Warren, we haven't seen him up there all race. That white number 24, he is working his way up. Involved in a couple wrecks, but up there in 7th right now.
And Will Klein and really loves this caution because he's on really old tires. So the more caution lasts for him, the more he can save those tires, keep them conserved. Because everybody around him are on newer tires.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is also good for these cautions are also good for Will Klein because this eliminates more drivers who were on new tires. Getting these, we've had multiple big ones now, and this is cutting down the field that Will Klein has to beat on these old tires, a lot older tires than Jabo. This will be interesting to see if how damaged cars play a role in this, if they do. And to see what drivers use that apron for. I'd really like to see here at the end of the race how many of those drivers do use that apron. Kind of like the dogling at Phoenix.
There's a car that looked like he was attempting to go to the pits.
The 21.
And decided not to.
He's a lap down, though, now. Is he? No, Lenny Brady. Maybe he just got ahead of the field or something. That was weird. I didn't... Yeah, he decided not to. Maybe because he knew it was 1 to green. Actually, he's dropping on the apron. I wonder if there's like something wrong with his equipment or something. Seems like his car. He seems like he can't keep pace. Maybe he's just clutching in for fuel or something. It's interesting. It's one of the things being in the booth that we don't really get to know. We just have to guess. I thought it would have been really interesting to see if Castro, what he would have been able to do on those old tires. I really wanted to see that. It sucks he got involved in those wrecks. As he was up there with J-Bo, giving him a big run for their money and giving him some massive pushes. What do you expect to see here, Christian, as we go with what will be 3 to green, or 3 laps left? It'll be interesting.
I really think J-Bo's going to have an advantage on those older tires with that outside, just how the momentum works. I think him with the newer tires and with the pushes he's been getting, I think he's just going to have a little bit of more of an advantage.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see, especially from that 8 car we've seen. He's been able to push, but also doesn't always want to go with the person that's in front of him. Many cars dropped that inside on that restart. J-Bo holding tight as he can on that door. The 21 right to the back bumper of the 4 gives him a push, locking bumpers right out of the corner.
The 8's on J-Bo, locking bumpers.
Shoving hard down the back. You see J-Bo moving around. That's how hard he's shoving him into 3. They'll come to the white when they come to the stripe here. Klein leads out of the corner. Huge run through the corner there. J-Bo gets a huge push through the tri-oval. Tate using that inside.
Now these 2 leaders have to stay connected with the second cars in line. If they get too far out in front, there's going to be chaos.
21 pushing Will Klein down the back. Does anyone step out of line to try and beat these 2? J-Bo on the outside. Will Klein on the inside. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Will Klein gets through the tri-oval. On the bottom. Will Klein. Oh, J-Bo got it.
J-Bo got it.
1/1000th of a second.
What a finish.
I can't pronounce his last name, but Justin wins it. Oh my gosh. What a finish. Let's go watch this one again. Coming out of turn 4. I thought Will Klein had it when he could go on that apron like that. But I think J-Bo got a little more of a push than the 4 did. The 8 stayed with him a little longer. The 21 went for it. I did not think J-Bo had that. I don't know. That is
so close.
It's kind of weird. It almost looks like
it looks like Will Klein won.
It does. I agree 100% with that. Wow. It's so close. That is interesting. Slowing it all the way down to 16 speed. 116 speed here.
Speaking of frame by frame.
Oh, it's so close. I think J-Bo leads in the frame right before the start finish line. J-Bo is not leading, but the frame after I think he is. That's so close. That's gotta be that is an insane finish. See if we can get a better view of it here. J-Bo. Looks like that's incredibly close. Wow. I don't know. It does kind of look like Will Klein maybe got it. Obviously, that's not what iRacing says, but...
It just looks like he's in front barely in every frame.
I wish there was a start-finish line down there that we could compare, like the boxes. Wow, incredibly close. That was B-Fixed at Atlanta. What a finish between J-Bo and Will Klein. J-Bo credited with the win, but Will Klein may have gotten it. Could have been an iRacing scoring error. We might never know. We can only assume. But this has been Peter Theriault and Christian Delgado with ENAR Broadcasting. Thank you for watching today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, and see you later.